Missing
Hello,
in
everyone.
Mississippi.
This story comes out of Jackson, Mississippi. Before I begin with my commentary, I ask that you give me a like and a follow. What happened to Dexter Wade? Here's what we know. Back in March, Dexter left his home and was fatally hit by an officer-driven SUV while crossing Interstate 55 in Jackson, Mississippi. Let's go over the timeline of the chain events that actually happened. On March 5th at 7:30 p.m., we know Dexter left home. By 7:54, he was struck and killed by Jackson police. The evening of March 5th, a prescription bottle was found with his name on it. On March 8th, the coroner's office gets the next of kin information. But no one actually notified his next of kin, which was his mom, Dexter Wade. Now, on March 9th, the crime lab confirms Dexter's identity. March 14th was when Dexter was reported missing by his mother. Dexter contacted Jackson police in hopes of receiving help from them in locating her son. However, they continuously told her that there were no leads on the whereabouts of her son. This is when she turned to social media to ask for help in locating Dexter. Now let's go back to the timeline for a second. In July, there was a new investigator who took over Dexter's case. Then is when they uncovered that Dexter was actually buried in a common grave next to unclaimed bodies. 1 month after they found out where Dexter's body was buried, they notified his mom of his death. This month, Dexter was able to visit the unmarked grave where her son was buried. Now I know many of you may be asking, just like I did, how could the police department be so negligent? And was this indeed intentional? Dexter's family believe it was indeed intentional, and here's why. 4 years earlier, Vernice Robinson, Dexter's grandmother, had lost her son, George Robinson. Here's what happened. On January 13th, 2019, Jackson police officers were searching for the killer of Reverend Anthony Lorgino in the city's Washington addition when they encountered the 62-year-old man, George Robinson, who had no connection with the New Bethany Missionary Baptist Church pastor's murder. According to witnesses, they said they saw officers pull George Robinson from his car, body slammed him, and beat him with their flashlights. The man, George Robinson, who had still been recovering from a stroke he'd suffered less than a month ago, earlier around Christmas time, later died of subdural hemorrhage at the University of Mississippi Medical Center that evening. In 2020, a grand jury indicted 3 officers for second-degree murder over George Robinson's death. But in May of 2021, Hinds County Judge Faye Peterson dismissed charges against 2 of those officers, Lincoln Lampley and Desmond Barney. According to Judge Peterson, she dismissed those charges because there was no proof that they were conspiring to commit an unlawful act against Mr. Robinson. The other officer was sentenced to 20 years in prison. However, 15 of those years was suspended. This is why Dexter's family believed that this was no accident. Currently, they are trying to raise money to exhume Dexter's body to give him a proper burial.